their own things using tools that are AI. And so it's just a fun time, and what I love about it is it touches everybody at all levels. And the challenging part for that when you're presenting to a room of people is that everyone in here has a different understanding and perspective, right? You all come from a different place. So I'm going to ask you about that in a second, and I'm going to try to build this presentation on the fly for you so that it's valuable to you. But before I do want to show you, so we started this game store in downtown Noblesville. Basically, it was a vacant spot that I thought, this was 8 years ago, 2018. And I was like, I want to build something that could compete with Amazon. It's so easy to buy something online and have it shipped directly to you. What makes us special or different? And so I created a space where the front half of the store is retail and the back half is people playing games. And it became a community driver, and now it's become almost like a signpost for downtown Noblesville. If you come there on a Friday night, we're going to have 60 or 70 people in our store playing until midnight. And it has become quite a cool community builder that my wife and I created. But we wrapped a business around it, and it's been a pretty successful business. We have 22 full-time employees now across multiple locations. You wouldn't guess it, right? You're like, oh, cool, a nerd store, what a thing, right? But turns out yeah, it's a blast, right? And it's been just wildly cool to do. But that's my nature, is like figure out an opportunity and figure out how to like scale it, right? And so we went from this cool idea of an empty vacant spot to what do we do with it to now we're like the largest game store in the Midwest. I did the same thing with my catering company. I started a catering company 12 years ago called Nameless Catering. And it was me and my cousin, and we knew nothing about food. We microwaved our Alfredo sauce because we had no idea how to cook. But we were very good at customer service, and we understood that if the food showed up hot and it was good enough and it was priced correctly, we'd sell a lot of it. And we did 426 weddings last year, for context. And so that's my thing, move fast, break things, figure it out on the fly. So for today's presentation, I do a lot of these. For today's presentation, I don't have a script. I'm going to drop a grenade in the room, and then we're all going to respond to it, right? And so it's going to be a way for us to figure out how to serve you and be valuable to each of you. Before I do that, though, I want to say, look at the speed here, okay? It took 75 years to get landlines to 100 million users. 16 for cell phones, 7 for the internet, 5 for Twitter, 2.5 for Instagram. It took ChatGPT 60 days to hit 100 million users. The world we're living in today is faster than anything we've ever seen before. And frankly, if you're not using it, you are getting left behind. Okay, and I'm going to make that case over and over today, and I really sincerely hope you take that to heart. These are all the big buzzwords. No one knows what most of these words mean. This is high-tech, hard, deep AI fluff, right? I call it buzzword bingo, because you all don't need to be technical experts to be able to use AI. And let's dig into that specifically if we can. So I asked it, ChatGPT in particular, and when I get into the AI bots, Jared's exactly right. There's a lot of different models out there. We can dig into some of that. We can talk about some of that today. Most of what I'm going to show you today isn't really model specific. It's more thinking about the application side of some of this, right? So here's what I said. I said, what data do you have on AI usage amongst employees and specifically amongst realtors? Let's check these stats together as a group, and you tell me if we're close. 82% of real estate agents use AI tools. Sound accurate? 87% were using it by 2025. 97% of brokerages say their agents use it. So apparently the brokerages have stronger, they believe you're using them maybe more than you are, right? And the real key is like, well, what are you using it for? He asked the question, which tool do you use? What are you using it for? I know you're not all agents. I know there's insurance and mortgage and other industry folk in the room. But what do you use AI for right now?
Google Workspace, Gemini helps with responding back to emails.
Okay.
Directing prompts specifically for development. I look and helps me with research.
Okay. So you're using it to research and to write emails. Okay. And that is you getting an email, or you typing up something and saying, can you draft this email for me?
Well, it automatically responds to the email.
Okay. In a workspace. You built an agent that basically grabs it and sends stuff back. How many of you have automations like that built in, where it's automatically responding or automatically drafting? And is that something you built, or is that something that your parent company provided? You built that? Okay. So we're going to talk about that today, okay? Because I think that's really important. So all of us, 87% of us, are using AI in some way, shape, or form. My bet is that anyone that took the time to come to this meeting is probably either already using it or is thinking, oh crap, I better be using this. And so my goal is to really walk you through that. Now, right now, realtors are using it for listing descriptions and marketing and emails. It's a very heavy focus. But I think the part that I want to share with you in the industry is many of you, I think even if you're not, how many in here are realtors? How many of you in here work in like a subsequent field, like mortgage? And then what about insurance, other things? Okay, so is that it? Are there any other like investors? All right, I dig it. Very cool. Perfect. So one of the things that I really want to dig into today is the practical use of some of this stuff. And so if I go back to, I had a meme that I'm going to share with you because I think it's funny. Y'all may not appreciate it in any way, but I come from the game store background. People ask, okay, cool, AI, where do I even start? How many of you are familiar with this meme, Leroy Jenkins? Anybody know what this is? Okay, well, you're about to find out. So this guy this is an online game, right? These people are playing an online game. I don't even know what it's called, World of Warcraft probably. And you can see all these characters. I'm going to turn down the audio for a second. But you can see all these characters in a room, and they're all like having a meeting. They're putting together their battle plan for what they're going to do. They're having these corporate board meetings, like, hey, we're going to go do this, and you're going to go do this. And this is a game, right? But these people are taking this super seriously. They have prepared literally for months for this moment, okay? And they're just like, hey, Nick, you're going to go do this thing, and you're going to have your saving throws, and if you're a gamer, like, this is really funny. But what happens is at about the minute 12 mark,
we can, of course, get them down fast because we're bringing all these guys. I mean, we'll be in trouble if we don't take them down quick. I think it's a pretty good plan. We should be able to pull it off this time. What do you think, Abdul? Can you give me a number crunch real quick?
Yeah, give me a sec. I'm coming up with 32.33, repeating, of course, percentage of survival.
It's a lot better than we usually do.
All right, thumbs up.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Oh my God, he just ran in.
Stick it clean.
Oh, Jesus. Let's go.
So these people have this big plan they're all working on, and this one guy in the group, I think he's high, honestly, at home playing this computer game. He just and you just hear him like, damn it, Leroy, what are you doing, right? And he just and he gets the whole party slaughtered. They just all get murdered, right? And it's all this plan. And it's just really funny to me because it's like sometimes you can sit around and think forever, and sometimes you just charge into the room, right? And so as an entrepreneur, someone who builds things, I think a lot about your roles in places, right? You have a support structure if you're inside of a brokerage or an organization, but many of you are like self-starters, right? You have to go out and hunt, and you have to gather, and you have to work, right? And you have to do all of these things. And so being able to do that more efficiently and having resources to help you do that, I think is the next level of success for you in your career and your profession. And so, I mean, we're basically going to Leroy Jenkins this whole presentation, right? We're just going to charge in, we're going to figure out what happens, and we're going to go from there. So let me do this. How many of you use ChatGPT's voice feature? Anybody use that? A couple, maybe? Okay, we're going to just play with it and see what happens, all right? I am in a room of realtors and real estate professionals from insurance and mortgage and investors, and I'm giving a presentation about AI, and here's what I want. I want you to help me think through let's pretend for a second that I'm going to become a realtor. I'm going to start today, and I want to be an AI first, best in class, best in the world realtor using all of the tools, tips, and technologies that exist in today's world. I want to think about this through the lens of building agents and building automations and minimizing the grunt work so that I can focus on the human side, the relationship side of growing a business. So can you build an outline for me that we can use as a discussion point that I can then walk them through and show them how to think about some of this stuff?
Absolutely, let's build that vision. Here's a high-level outline to walk them through what an AI-first world-class realtor journey could look like. Vision the AI-first realtor. Define what AI-first means. Balancing automation for efficiency while amplifying human relationships. Highlight the goal, minimize busy work, maximize client connection and trust. 2, data as fuel, setting up intelligent foundations. Using market data, automated tools for market analysis, pricing models, Zillow API, MyBor, etc. Client data enrichment, AI tools to enrich leads, contact info, property preferences via CRM integrations. Predictive analytics, forecasting buyer intent when clients might be ready to buy or sell. 3, personal AI assistants, agents for every step. Lead nurturing agent, automated personalized follow-up via email or text, drip campaigns with AI-generated content. Scheduling agent, AI to coordinate showings, sync calendars, optimize travel routes. Document automation, AI drafting of contracts, listing descriptions, and compliance paperwork. 4, AI enhanced client experience. Virtual AI tours, use AI for virtual staging, personalized property tours, even AI co-pilots during live showings answering property detail questions on the fly. AI curated property matches, recommend homes based on preferences and behavior, like a Netflix for real estate. AI-powered negotiation insights, tools that analyze market conditions to suggest negotiations.
I'm going to stop it there because that's a lot, right? Anybody overwhelmed just hearing that? What do I even do here, right? And so my goal today, obviously we're not going to be able to launch every single one of these things in 1 hour together, but my goal is to tell you how some of this stuff is probably easier than you may realize, and it's repeatable and it's reusable, okay? So per what Jared said earlier, there's lots of different LLMs, there's lots of different ways to interact. I'm going to stick with ChatGPT. It's kind of like Googling, right? Because it was really first to market and really kind of got to prominence faster than most others. Currently, to date, still has a big market share. It's like when you go to search for something on the internet, you don't Yahoo things anymore, you Google them, right? That's changing, and it does depend on which tools you're comfortable with and what that looks like. And so all I did here was I asked ChatGPT, this is the voice agent built directly into the ChatGPT app, okay? So if you just click the little button in the bottom right and talk to it, you can have a conversation with it, which is really helpful and handy. I use it all the time when I'm going to meet with someone that I don't know, or I want to think about something and just have something to bounce stuff off of. Like, it is a very, very real and reasonable way for you to do research and have conversations around some of this stuff, okay? And so the part that I really want to focus on today is less ethereal and kind of strategy and less like AI, virtual augmented reality, and more about like the practical stuff that y'all do every day. Heard you talk about email, heard you talk about automation and workflows. I believe fundamentally that is the place where if you choose to level up in those places, you will cut hours out of your day every day. You will be able to do twice as much work with the same or less effort. Right? Those are the places where when I think about AI, that's where I would personally invest my time, effort, and energy. You heard it say, go build agents. Who knows what that is? Who uses or is comfortable with that concept of agents? Okay? And so the premise of an agent is that it's like a worker that works for you. Okay? And it's something that you can hand something to, and it goes, to steal from Leroy Jenkins, it goes on a quest. Right? It's like, hey, go on this quest and go do this thing and then come back to me when you're done doing this thing. Where the world is going is we're going to have many agents that have very purpose-driven roles. Imagine hiring someone that works for you, and for simplicity, think of interns, right? But you have somebody that you hire, and their whole job is to just create listings for you. Or their whole job is to just go research a property for you. Or their whole job is to just analyze the contract that came back and make sure, whatever those tasks are that you're responsible for, we can build little agents that will do that will make your life easier. And if we do it correctly, it cuts all sorts of time out of your life, right? Now, the problem, because I'm going to classify you all, and this is probably unfair, but I get it because I'm an entrepreneur, is you're like a solopreneur, right? You've got to do everything in this business. Sure, you get some support in various places, but like, you don't get out there and get work done, you ain't making any money. That's how this works, right? Am I wrong? Like, that's how this goes. And so the problem is that in today's world, you can't stop doing your day job to just like spend every Thursday and Friday building AI tools. You have to like do it while you have to walk and chew gum at the same time, right? And so the way I think about that is, what could I do today that would take pressure off of me? Let's do this. Give me a couple of examples of things that you spend time on every week that you wish you didn't have to spend time on every week. Yeah.
Checking expired listings.
Taking them down?
No, like checking.
Oh, checking.
Expired listings. Yeah.
Oh, to see if they have expired by somebody else so that you can maybe reach out and, okay, cool, great.
Cold calling.
Okay. I'm going to avoid that one, but we'll talk about it.
Evaluating deals and making sure that they pencil out to a lender's perspective.
Great. Okay. Those are both good. Any other things that you spend time on?
I also own a private property management company, so
Okay.
I do all of it. So reaching out to the applicants, vetting them, coordinating, come see the property.
Yep.
Pictures.
Yep. All right, so that's very helpful. Let me start the conversation there, and I'll show you where I would be thinking about. So one of the challenges in life is skating to where the puck is going, not just where it is today, right? And so as we think about that, I'll show you how I use AI today as a benchmark, and then we'll work backwards to talk about doing some of this stuff. Does that sound like a reasonable path? Okay, and one of the things they always tell you in doing a presentation is never, ever, ever do anything live because it'll break and things will happen. I find that to be, I could put something on a screen and just talk about it, or I could show you. And so if something breaks, just give me some grace in that moment because we're doing it live, right? And I'm on my cell phone's Wi-Fi, which isn't exactly the most awesomest. I did. It was falling down on me as I was trying to push it. So this is something I built. So one of my companies, Larry and I, we have 3 people on our team, okay? This is a product called Mission Control. We just made this up. We created this 3 weeks ago. So our third partner was on maternity leave for 3 months. So I didn't want her coming back and saying, this is how Moonshot, Jen MoonX is the name of this company, is going to do stuff. So when she came back, I said, welcome back, glad you're back. Now let's build our future, right? Let's figure out how we're gonna run our business. And so in the last 3 weeks, the 3 of us have built this tool from scratch, okay, that manages our life. And so what this is a custom tool that we vibe coded. Anybody heard the terminology of vibe coding where you're building software using agents to do it? Okay, and we created this tool. And so I hooked my calendar into it, so it connects directly with my Google Calendar. I can build clients into this and start to build, hey, here's my contract, here's my contact, here's the Google Drive connected to that client, here's all the projects I'm working on, here's some data about them, and here's some tasks that we're doing, right? And so this is very similar to a project management tool. I know many of you probably have tools like this from your brokerages or your firms or your companies. The point of this isn't to say, go get this tool. It's not. It's to show you that we built this by ourselves. So when I look at you trying to run a property management thing, there's 2 paths in today's world, build or buy. You go find a piece of software that exists and it's opinionated and it comes with cost and it does what you get what you get and you don't throw a fit, as I tell my kids, right? Or today's world, you start just building it. You custom design the thing for you, okay? This is a product called Replit, R-E-P-L-I-T, that has an agentic component to how it works. Let me just show you how we're using it. We're 3 weeks in. This is gonna evolve a ton. If I do this presentation again in a month, it's gonna look very different, okay? But in 3 weeks, here's what we've come up with. We have a task board, right? If you're familiar with any kind of Kanbaning where you can drag stuff from this bucket to this bucket, right, to this bucket, and Larry has the ability to prioritize things for me and say, this is what you should be working on, not what you want to be working on. And this is kind of the way in which we can manage that. I can show my tasks, I can show everybody's tasks, I can look at it in view format, I can create new tasks. Right? This is all just a standard project management app. We could buy Asana or Trello or some other tool that does this. Great. But one of the things we have to do is manage social media. That's a pain in the ass. Right? It's like constant. There's always something to do. And you can easily spend all day, every day, farting around on social media and get 3 likes, and it's like, what am I doing? But if you don't do it, then you're not doing it, right? And so we built this little tool. We built this tool. I didn't buy this. I built this, where it literally lets me create social media content inside of the tool, right? And it creates a preview for it, and it has an approval process where we can send it off. My wife runs our game store. So Bailey, the other person on our team, creates this content, sends it to my wife approves it, and it just automatically goes live on social media. It's like Hootsuite or some of these other tools that exist, but we bake it right into this. And so now when it's like, hey, I need to dream up 5 social media posts, I create those in my task list, they automate, they go into this. Like it starts to streamline how we function as a little 3-person team, okay? And so with that, I run a podcast for the IBJ. Who am I going to interview? What does this look like? How many have we recorded? What are the steps? Custom tool, right? This is a tool that we built using this application to do this. And so it allows us to dream up guests that we want to have in the system, right? It allows us to decide who's next and what that looks like. And it lets us plan and prepare. One of the challenges with running an AI podcast, I can't record 4 to 6 months out because it changes every day. And so I get to record, and Larry loves this part about the job. I have to record a podcast every week, and it's new every week. We can maybe get a week or two ahead of time, and that's about it. And when you're juggling people like Congress people and executives at Eli Lilly, and get out of here, right? It's like, so that's the least favorite part of her job. So what I did, just like I asked you at the beginning of this conversation, I said, what's your pain? For her, it was this. It was managing having people on a podcast. So let's go solve that problem, build a tool, and take that off of your plate so you're not having to do that every day, okay? And then kind of the neat part where it gets even cooler than all this generally, if you're a software person, if you subscribe to HubSpot or tools like that in the past, you've seen a lot of this stuff, right? People build software. We've all used software. There's nothing super special about that. What is special is that we customize the whole thing, and it fits for us, right? There's no tool out there that has a podcast scheduling component that you just bolt on. We did that because it worked for our purposes. I also created a feature here called the Brain where I can just drop in screenshots, videos, audio, a list of every note that I took, and just plop them all in here. I can give it 50 things that I rattled off in my head, paste them in, and it will automatically create tasks and to-dos off of all 50 of those things, right? Which helps me streamline and standardize and go. So I realize that this is the end, right? But I wanted to start there. Because if I'm running a project management firm and or a property management group, and I have 50 things I'm juggling, like building something like this, if you devote the time, effort, and energy, is hundreds of dollars, not thousands of dollars. And you can have something that will change your entire workflow moving forward by using a tool like this, okay? So the app in this case is called Replit, R-E-P-L-I-T. You come to it, and you say, I'm just going to start this just so you can see it, okay? I'm just going to come here. I'm going to say, here, give me what's your name? Jennifer, tell me a little bit about your property management. Yeah. Like, what is it you do? How does it work? How many properties? Like that sort of thing.
Sure. I started 2025 with 4 properties, and I'm up to 42 now. So it kind of exploded. And so I'm doing things from growing the business, but also dealing with like getting applications from the tenants, getting security deposits, making sure that the vendors are there to clean and to all of the details. So
okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm just gonna take that. I know nothing outside of what you just said. I'm gonna feed it into this, and then I just wanna show you how agentic work is different than just going to ChatGPT and asking it something, okay? So this is, again, Replit. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm building an application for a property management company. We have currently 42 properties under lease. I need a tool that will allow me to vet applicants and then connect approved applicants to properties. I need to connect contracts to those properties. I need a dashboard showing me leases that are about to expire and lease terms. And I need a vendor management feature where I can actually add vendors to the back end of the tool, where I can add the landscaping guy and the drywall guy and the plumber and add all their contact information so I know who to call and who to contact in each of those places. Can you give me a V1 of this web application? So, like, literally that's agentic, okay? So in essence, it's like sitting down with a software developer and telling that software developer, hey, I want you to go build this app for me. If you went to hire a software developer, this would cost $25,000 probably to build something like this. We're gonna have something done before this class is over that you're gonna be like, holy shit, okay? This is the world we live in today. And so the reason I tell you this stuff is because if you grab this and if you hustle and if you're gonna beat your head against the wall. There's gonna be parts that don't make any sense. There's gonna be parts that are like, I don't know why you did that. Well, the number one thing I can tell all of us humble Hoosiers is don't be afraid to fail, okay? Because I talk to a lot of people all over the state of Indiana, and we sometimes don't ask a question because we don't want to sound stupid or because we don't want to hurt feelings. Like, this is a robot, right? You're not going to hurt its feelings. And that's a mental thing. And so I've had probably hundreds of people tell me, Jayson, you gave me permission to build with these tools. I didn't give you permission. You don't need my blessing, right? Just do it. Just go. And so when you find tools like this that can go, I mean, we'll come back to it because I'm going to let it run, but it's literally going and starting to build a property management tool for us from scratch, right? And then the way you edit it once we get it up, and I'll show you, is you just talk to it and you just say, hey, you did this part wrong. I need to do this instead, or crap, I forgot to tell you this part, and it just goes, right? This is the world we live in today. If you all learn how to use tools like this, you will cut hours out of work every single day. Yeah.
I think this is a stupid question.
No, it's not.
But do you just access it in the same, like you said, Replit?
Yep. So right now what it's going to do is it's going to create a preview right here that we're going to see. When we're ready, we can push the publish button, and it will say, give me a URL you want to put this on. And so you go buy a domain you can buy it right in the app. You can Wix or Squarespace or whatever you're comfortable with, and it'll pop up your Squarespace login, and you just put in your Squarespace login, and then boom, it's live on the web. Right? It's a publicly accessible web application that you can get to from your phone or from a computer or anywhere else. And if you say, hold on a second, I need to password protect this because I don't want every ding-dong inside of my property management system, then you literally just tell it, I need to wrap a password around this. And it'll say, how do you log in? You say, I use Google to log in. It'll say, great, now we're authenticating it against your Google account. And it does all of that, right? And so you saw me log into my tool, and it popped up a little box and asked for my credentials. Lurie and I and Bailey, our third partner, are the only people that have access to it. Yeah?
So I put around apps and
Yeah.
just for personal stuff.
Yep.
And I've done some for stuff. The one thing that I've gotten stuck on, and maybe you're answering it right now, is integration with other tools.
Sure. Depends on the other tools. Happy to dig super deep into this if you want to.
Well, accessing MLS.
Sure. Yep. Do
Go ahead.
you have an API with MyBor with the MLS? Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay, so let me, I wish I had a whiteboard, but I'll just explain it quickly. Okay, software talking to software requires what's called an API, an application programming interface. It's basically a way for the two things to talk together. So if I have my app and MyBor has their data set, the only way for those things to happen is to create a digital connection between those. It's like literally running a wire from one to the other, right? And normally, every application you use has an API accessibility. My guess is you have that access if you're a member, or your firm has that access if they're a member. If not, I know for a fact Zillow has that information, Redfin has that information, Atom, ATTOM, if you're familiar with that. These are different tools out there that exist, and you can get access to it. So what you would do there is you would go to MyBor, authenticate. They would give you a token, and you would just hand this code the token and say, we're based in Indiana, we use MyBor, here is MyBor's token, and you just paste it in, and it would go out, find how MyBor does things, look for, because it's documented for developers, for coders, it would read all that documentation, it would figure out how to connect those dots, and it would come back and say, you're hooked up now. And if you get stuck, then you ask it, I can't seem to get this wrong, what do I need to do? And sometimes it'll say, you need to send the following email to their IT person, right? Sometimes there are clunky steps along the way. What you're finding, though, is the best software in the world, really any software today that's functionally usable for where the world is going, has APIs and has the ability for you to get to that information.
So it's very possible to just connect them.
100%. Should just automate right into it. Yep. And so that's where it gets super interesting for looking at listings that expired or whatever else, right? And so you would just say to it, I need a list of listings that expire. So here's the first version of our tool, right? And this was done in 8 minutes, give or take.
It's done in Codex, right?
No, this is done inside of Replit. So Codex is another thing that's available. All the chat tools have some version of a coding engine attached to them. This is a third-party product that I use that I prefer because it's so user-friendly, and it just crushes all the competition currently right now. Yeah, it's called Replit, R-E-P-L-I-T. So for context, one of the questions, we'll wait till it's totally done here because it's just popping up a visual for us. It's seeding it with fake data, right? But let's just say that we had an export of every PDF file from every contract that had been signed, or we had an export of a CSV of all of our leases, you can just dump all that into here, and it'll create all the contacts, all the records, it'll map all the things together. It'll literally be a fully functioning system. I know, right? And when you start thinking about this stuff, it's absolutely wild. And so we'll just click, I mean, here's some vendors. I want to add a new vendor. There's a feature for it. Like, it made all of these decisions based on the one paragraph of text that I gave it on the front. This is AI. This is not just talking to ChatGPT. This is using it to build something to better your life, okay? This is the cheat code today. It's going to continue to change, and I'll talk a little bit about that soon. But if you lean into this, there's a handful of tools I will tell you about that I think strongly you should think about. This is one of them. This is the one I spend the most time in every day, right? You're going to find that it's pretty wild. Like, here's all of our leases, here's the applicants that have come through, right? You can build a whole applicant vetting program attached to this. You can take, so normally what I tell folks is when you start building with AI, instead of just using it to talk, start small and add features. When you're hiring a software developer to build something for you, you want to scope the entire thing, right? You want to literally like have every question answered, because every time you don't have a question answered, it's going to cost you more money for them to fix it later. With AI web development, it's the opposite, right? Because the actual cost of building is almost nothing. The cost of getting it wrong on the front end is more expensive. So instead, say, build me a property management tool, and then you're going to come in here and you're going to say, hey, I really need to change this feature. This is the important part. You ready for this? So I'm going to click on this little button, and we're going to see how much it physically charged me to build this application. $3.48. Okay? So to get to this level right now, my total out-of-pocket cost was $3.48. Okay? You can see it right here. It wrote 3,500 lines of code. It connected all these dots. It gave me an application to start, and it charged me $3.50. So the way this works is Replit in particular is $25 a month, and it's credit based. So as you build stuff with it, it just deducts, and then it gets, so I mean, at the end of the day, think about $25,000 for a software developer. I bet you could build this application for under $200 all in. Legitimately built all the way through, okay? So that's what I want to challenge you guys to think about, is how do these bits and pieces come together, okay? So this is Replit. I can show you dozens of examples and tools and processes for this. I mean, it pulls in properties. It can automatically pull in photos. Like when I go to add a property, you know, it's going to give me all the bells and whistles and details. I mean, I think this is the way the world is going in moments where our company doesn't have a piece of software that already works, right? I mean, if you're part of an agency and the agency gives you a piece of software, like that is what it is. You got to use it, work around. But what can you be doing outside of that?
So one of my biggest, there's a lot of things, but one is I have 20 people right now I need to get onto a lease, and so I literally open up my Word doc, find those fields where I need to change the information, convert it to a PDF, put it in my system for the design. Like it will take me hours to get.
So let's drill into that first, and then we'll come back to what these guys were talking about too. So that you can do a whole bunch of different ways. Okay, and I realize, guys, this is like drinking from a fire hose. I'm sure if you're not in this, it's going to feel overwhelming. Slow me down. Tell me, there's no dumb questions, right? Like, I live in this world, so I move very quickly, but I don't want to just blow past it where you leave here just like, blah, 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 I didn't get anything out of it, right? And so slow me down. But one thing I'll do there is another product that I strongly recommend called Claude Cowork. Okay? Anybody in here use Claude Cowork in particular? Okay? So Claude is one of the LLMs powered by Anthropic. They're the most kind of ethically based, big picture vision ones. They're the ones that just got in the war with the Department of Defense about not allowing to use their technology to surveil on Americans, right? It was a whole thing. And so these people are building really neat technology. And what they have launched is a desktop application that's not just a chat bot in a browser. It's actually something you install on your computer, okay? And it's called Claude Cowork. The version I use is $20 a month. I get it
Yesterday.
You just installed it, you said?
I did, yes, but I haven't done anything.
So it's 10 out of 10, and here's why, okay? What you can do is you can come right to this screen. You can drag and drop 20 Word documents into it, or you can drag a PDF template into it, or whatever you have, and you can say, I need you to rework all of these and create separate files for each one, and here's the list of people's names and the amounts that need to be filled in, and go. And within 3 minutes, it will solve all of that for you, okay? Dead serious. It's called Claude Cowork. It's $20. What I love about Claude Cowork that's different than most of the other tools is that it has a limit of how much you can use it for the $20 that you pay it, because all this stuff has like incremental costs, right? And that's tricky, because Lurie will tell you, I spend probably thousands of dollars a month on, I'm subscribed to everything, right? And I'm subscribed to like the highest tier of everything. But this is what I do for a living, right? It's my nature, it's what I do. For this, for $20 a month, it will go take over your life, run these things for you, and it'll save it into a folder. It'll literally dump it into a folder and say, here are the 25 PDF files that you need, and it will name them by the person's name and at least whatever you want it to do, right? Yeah, Claude Cowork, it's a software. You download the actual application. So you're going to want the desktop application to download it, yep. But you pay Anthropic, that's the primary company, and Cowork handles, this is the first tool that goes beyond a browser where you're just talking to it and getting feedback back. I can literally tell it right now, go through my entire desktop and organize all of my image files into structured folders and give me a recommendation of every image that I should delete and give me the context of why. And it will just go, all right, boss, gotcha, and it'll just go, right? And it'll come back and say, here's what you should do. And so I use this tool every single day for reasons like that. One other good use case for this is, here, let me just show you what I've done with it recently. Hell, I can just like scroll up. So I'm trying to build a calendar of dates for my YouTube channel. So I have a YouTube channel for my game store, okay? This is like dumb, but I'm just gonna show you, right? So we have about 25,000 subscribers. We do a ton of videos. We open packs of Magic the Gathering on the internet. It's like the nerdiest thing you could ever possibly do, right? But we have this channel. We have a ton of people that watch it. We do really well with it. It's really fun. And in so doing, where'd it go? Come back. I said, here's the deal. I need to know which of the streamers that are on the screen streamed every episode. Like who was physically on that episode? And then I need you to help me understand like how long did they stream? Because what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do some analysis to determine who sells the most packs per hour, what days of the week are the most efficient for us, what hours work and don't work, right? That's valuable information. But by God, trying to pull that manually would be an absolute dumpster fire. That would be a full-time job, trying to just undo that. So all I did here was I fed it my YouTube channel, right? And it's loading it up and it's saying, hey, I found 540 items going back to this date, and it just pulls them all down, and then it generates a CSV file for me, right? It literally, here's your CSV file. Let me see if I can find the actual file. I don't know where it saved it. I might have just saved it to my computer. But it spit out a CSV file. Here it is. And it literally says, I saved it in this folder, here's the file name. And it did everything I asked it to do. And now I can look at it and I can say, hey, this streamer performs at 1.5x this streamer, which we can use for compensation conversations, which we can use for deciding who works what days of the week. Like, it is a very valuable tool to optimize the business. And I pointed it to a YouTube channel. And I said, go analyze this channel and tell me what worked and what didn't. And it did it. Before that, I said, hey, here's what I want you to do. I want you, what is this? What did I ask it to do? Oh, go through every shipment that came from a vendor that we buy stuff from for the last 5 years and open up my email, go read every email that came from this vendor, download the PDF that was attached to that, and analyze the line items of every single thing that we bought, and then generate a report for me that says, this is how prices have trended over that 5-year time frame. By product category, dice were this much up, supplies were this much up, games were this much up. And it generated all of that for me. And it took about 15 minutes, right? So Claude Cowork would be the second application I would strongly recommend you test and try. And here's what I want to tell you. If this feels intimidating, and I get it, just ask it, right? When you install the software, say, I don't really know how to use you, but here's the problem I'm trying to solve. And just explain the problem and say, can you help me with this problem? How do I need to prepare things to have you help me with this problem? What do I not understand? And treat it as if you had. This is the mindset shift. It's not a Google search you're typing stuff into. It is a person. It's not a real person. I get that. But think of it like it's having a person sitting right next to you. Okay? If you brought in an optimization expert and you sat them right here and you said, all right, this is what I need. And they would say, well, you didn't answer these questions. Okay, well, good point, right? And it's a dialogue. It's a conversation. And what you're going to find is that within minutes, you're starting to get stuff back that just fundamentally changes. And this is where people have said, you've unlocked this for me, right? All I did was said, here's the tool. It's on you to care hard enough to go do something about it. I can't push you on that. But what I can tell you is that if you choose to push hard right now, you will win. If you don't ever push hard, you will lose. That's the nature of the world we live in right now. People ask me all the time, is AI going to take my job? And the current answer is, no, but someone using it is, right? And the future answer is probably, because it's going to take all of our jobs, because that's the world we live in. It's a whole different conversation. I have a shirt that I wear to a lot of presentations that just says AI optimist on it, because there's a 12% chance the robots kill all of us. That's probably a legitimate number. I hope that's not true, right? But that's the world we live in. And so, and until then, let's learn how to optimize everything, right? So what questions, comments, concerns do you have about these two tools I've showed you? I started at the end. We're going to swim backwards and kind of make it a little easier to get into it. But what I wanted to do is to paint a picture quickly about what you can do. Yeah? Oh, sorry.
But I did have, so with Replit,
Yep.
building applications, would you start with one of the other AI tools and then move?
Yes. No, I wouldn't build in another AI tool. I would use it to, so here's what I would do. Hey, I need to build a property management app in Replit. I'd start with ChatGPT probably. I need you to design the prompt that I should paste into Replit, right?
Brainstorming with Jet.
Correct.
The other AI.
Correct. Then I copy paste and hit go. And I ask it, make the prompt for Replit for me, okay? And it goes, which is super cool, right? And so that would be how I would probably use a tool like that. Note that Claude, especially Claude Code, ChatGPT, Codex, these other tools, they're going to try to give you code. And in some places, you can't actually turn that into an application. My experience right now is that Replit is the fastest, cleanest, and most reliable today to create really magical stuff. Soon, you'll be able to build these types of tools directly inside of some of these other applications.
One of the other things that we all probably are trying to use is social media, like you said,
Uh-huh.
and doing reels. And so I've gotten really comfortable just shooting content.
Yeah.
And being it's very, very casual. There's nothing, right? And
Yep.
so I want to be able to say, instead of me trying to go into Instagram and CapCut and figure out how to stitch it together, can I just dump video clips into it?
Sort of. It's not great. There are better tools for that. It's not that. And so my personal perspective is I don't think image creation or video creation are quite there yet. If you've played with these tools much at all, you can still tell they're AI, right? And I think consumers can tell the difference. And we use it sometimes just to have fun, but yeah, it's not great still. There are really great tools that if you record a bunch of content, will clip it and size it for you correctly and put stuff on it.
That's what she was asking.
Okay, clear.
Sorry, that is
I'm good at listening sometimes. My wife tells me that I'm very good at listening.
yes. I already have all the clips. I just want to put them in there and say, make this look like a good reel.
So here's what I just did yesterday. We just uploaded the long form hour and 4-minute podcast episode and put it into a product called Opus. Opus AI.
Opus AI, that's what you do.
Yep. So it's more expensive than I'd like for it to be, but it's transferring a lot of bandwidth, right? Because it's a lot of video files going up and down. But here's an example, I think, of
Creates the captions for you and everything.
it made this just for context. Hold on.
Did you know that the age of our infrastructure has exceeded its useful life?
So all I did was took an hour and 4-minute video, uploaded it into Opus. Here, we'll just log into Opus and I'll show you. So we take this video file and upload it. And what this tool is doing is it's scoring the likelihood of a social media banger, right? Virality based on the clips it made. So we uploaded one long file and it made 100 short little clips. Okay? So this was, the reason I misunderstood the conversation is because I thought you were shooting short form content, right? What this does is it takes longer form content and chops it up for you and kind of picks what it thinks will trend and work based on algorithms.
So I sat down with my maintenance person
Uh-huh.
and did like a quick, like a
Yep.
rapid fire
Yep.
Q&A.
Yep.
I have all those videos.
Yep.
But now I need it to look.
Yeah, so throw it into this kind of a tool and you can wrap stuff around it. And so this will take it and it will say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We're going to add transcripts automatically. So it's going to put these big floppy texts on there. You guys have seen these if you do any TikToking or Reelsing or Instagramming, right? And then it's going to say, hey, based on how this works, like these are the hooks and the flows and the values and the trends. And so it's applying algorithms on top of your content and saying, this one has a good tendency. It probably is going to work, right? And these down here aren't as good. And so this is a good example of a tool that I think solves that problem for you. Try it and see. It may not do exactly what you need. You may find you need to record a 10-minute video and then throw it in and let it go, right? Instead of shorter ones. I don't know. But we use it for the podcast right now, and we're just seeing, I mean, the one we put up yesterday had 1,000 views, right? And it was about water. Like, no one wants to talk about that, and here it was. And so it's a real thing. Does that answer your question? Okay, let's go back to what other questions do we have before I go too far off the deep end? We're in water jokes right now. Anything? Okay, so one of your questions was around analysis, correct? Like evaluating a deal maybe, or something to that effect. Another thing that, how many of you use custom GPTs? Is that something that anyone's familiar with or knows anything about? Okay, so if you are in ChatGPT and you talk to it, which we do, it's like, it'll keep some version, if you have, especially if you have a paid account, it'll keep some version of like short-term memory, but its memory is not great, right? It doesn't last forever, it'll forget things, it'll hallucinate, it'll make up stuff, it's not super wonderful. So one of the things that I like to do, I'm gonna show you 3 tools inside of ChatGPT specifically. If you use that, these 3 tools, I think are super valuable, and they're things that you can take home today and start using, okay? The first is this feature called deep research. Anybody ever click this little plus button over here on the left-hand side? It's wild how much different it is if you just choose to click that button and drop down. If you go to deep research and you paste in something, somebody have a property address that they're selling that they just know off the top of their head that I...
030
Boxcar Court. What city? Can you give me a deep analysis on this property in particular? Pull every record you can pull. Help me understand how this looks as an investment property, how it looks as maybe is it a residential? Like a... Okay, let's start that over. I'm thinking of moving my family into this property, and I want to know everything I can know. School systems, economics, food options, neighborhood, HOA. Give me everything you can about this property. So I just tell it deep research mode to go, okay? And what this is going to do is, in essence, this is ChatGPT's version of an agent. It's spinning up a virtual machine, and it's creating a to-do list of things that it's going to go find. Okay, so different, a little different. It's like an expanded version of just having a chat. We could get there the same way if we just went back and forth with this thing forever. But
You're changing is you switched it to a deep.
Click the button, yep. And what Sam Altman has said about ChatGPT in particular is that you won't have to make these choices in the future. It will just understand how far to go. But right now, this requires more CPUs and resources, so they want you to be deliberate, and you get a finite number of deep research requests per month based on your account type, right? And so that's just a thing to consider. I'm gonna let this run. While this is running, let's do this. What was the address again?
16030 Boxcar Court.
16030 Boxcar Court. Let's start here. 16030 Boxcar Court. So I'm just going to go grab it. First of all, one thing you're going to notice here is that I'm not using Chrome. I'm actually using ChatGPT's browser. So they have their own browser called ChatGPT Atlas, which is another pro tip. I think it's only on Macs right now, but man, baking ChatGPT into everything I do is just wild. So let's just go grab, is there a Zillow link or something for this? Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. This is another tool I'm going to show you. I don't know how relevant this is because I know you all do marketing probably through your parent companies or your organizations. But similar to Replit, I just want you to see how wild the world is relative to maybe what you're used to with ChatGPT, okay? I need you to build a landing page website for this property. We're going to register the domain 16030boxcar.com. And I want a sales pitch and piece for this property specifically that helps me sell it to customers and consumers. So let's add data about the area, the neighborhood, the property, the HOA, etc. And I'm just going to paste in the Zillow link. Now, if you had MLS and other things, obviously you could do that. But I'm trying to be intentional here about showing you what this can look like without any effort. Okay, so this tool is going to run off on a quest that it's going to go build a website for us. And it's going to build the website 16030boxcar.com. I'm not actually buying the domain, but it would tell you if you want this domain, just put in your $10 and now it's yours, right? Which is kind of a cool marketing thing, right? That's very personalized and put your own branding and logos and everything on it. I'm sure companies and products offer that sort of a service, but this is just to show you how AI-ified this world can be, okay? So we're gonna let that run. We're gonna come back to this. It's still on level 1, so we'll let that do it. Let's see if we can give a good example of, I don't know if agent mode is even still, yeah, it's still a thing. Okay, so are you familiar with agent mode? Okay, this is similar to deep research mode, but this is a thing where it will go do a bunch of things subsequently. So I use this for like planning vacations, right? Where it's almost like hiring a travel agent to do the job for you, okay? And so I just want to show this to you. I don't know how valuable it is. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But let's just think about this out loud. Okay. Amanda and I have a busy week next week, so I need you to design my family's lunch and dinner plans. Kids are home. We're home 3 nights next week for dinner. My kids are pretty basic eaters. They don't want any seafood or fish. Probably red meats and chicken only. I want to stay somewhat healthy, question mark. We're not crazy about it, but I don't want to go all fried all the time. We primarily shop at Aldi and BJ's Wholesale Club. So here's what I want you to do. Go give me a menu and then go research what's available at BJ's and Aldi and give me separate shopping lists that I can take into each location so that I can maximize my spending or minimize my spending, knowing that BJ's is a wholesale club and sells in big bulk and Aldi sells smaller units of things. And if you're able to, you know what, give me kind of a pick list, ideally in order of like when I walk in the store where all the stuff is together. I don't want to backtrack around the store a whole bunch, so help make that life a little easier also, right? Yeah, let's just build this list. Give me some proposals and we'll go from there. So in essence, what I'm doing is I'm hiring a personal shopping assistant and I'm telling it, go run my life for me. And it says, let's go, okay? May not be a great example because it's going to make a bunch of assumptions based on, a lot of people are using AI for these types of tools now. So if it works inside of its LLM, it's going to automatically just kick back an answer. If it has to go out to the web and do research. So what it's doing is it's opening up a web browser as if it were me sitting at a computer, and it's going to a URL, and it's opening that URL, and it's clicking, and it's going down this path. And so when I say go book a trip for me, it's going to go check delta.com, southwest.com, etc. It's going to come back and say, hey, the hotels are this much on these nights, and it's going to do all this stuff. So this isn't maybe the best example because a lot of this stuff is just in its memory, right? So this came back really quickly. But imagine a more complex scenario where it's like, we're taking a 10-day trip to Europe. I only want to stay in Marriott properties. We have to arrive between this window and this window. I want to make sure my kids get to see museums but have playtime every day. We want natural parks. I want to eat at least 2 Michelin star restaurants while we're over there. Like, you give it all these variables and you just throw it at it. And it's like if a travel assistant or a tour agent was sitting there and it just goes and works. And then it comes back and says, here's everything you asked for, right? What do you think? And then you just iterate. Just like you would if you hired a travel agent. You would say to them, well, we're not going to be able to do this, or my kids wouldn't like that, or whatever. And it comes back and says, oh, good thought, right? It's always very happy to help you, right?
Have you found that it's, so I did that kind of when I went to Washington DC
Mhm.
last year, but like, how do you make sure that like it's looking at the most current information?
You tell it that.
Okay.
So a couple things. One, AI is very good at telling you what you want to hear. It can be the worst employee you've ever had. It's like my 10-year-old son. I clean my room. Okay, buddy, let's go look, right? Okay, you and I have a very different opinion of what cleaning your room looks like. And so it just wants to serve you. These AI agents and bots just want to answer your questions and get on to the next thing. That's really how it's designed to work. Which means that if you need completeness or you need accuracy, you have to be explicit. Just like and this is the mind shift, just like I would to my 10-year-old son. Simon, I love you, buddy. The last time you cleaned the room, it didn't actually get cleaned. So I'm going to come down there and look. And if it's not cleaned, we're going to have a problem. Okay, Dad. And I get a different result. It's literally just like that, right? I'm going to DC. It's really important that we don't go to a place that's not open. If the museums aren't open on Mondays, don't put it on my itinerary. Tell it that, right? We have a hard time with that because we want to just kind of get in, get out, get fast. But the more details you give it, the better your prompt, it's called prompt engineering, the better that is, the better response you're going to get back every single time, right? And these tools, these models, these LLMs are working to be faster and more efficient and more real time, but sometimes the data is 2 or 3 years old and it doesn't know. So you have to tell it. Does that answer your question? Yeah. And be explicit. Like, I only want you to consider restaurants with at least 4.2 Yelp stars. I only want places that are within 500 feet of metro stops. Like, you can drive all of that and it can pull all of those bits and pieces together. You will find you're only going to get real answers if you either go back and forth a million times or use agent or research mode in ChatGPT in particular.
Hey, Jayson.
Yep.
The event I was at a couple of weeks ago was a room full of about 400 to 500 realtors. Every single one of them and the speaker said, notebook LM. You have, as realtors,
That's wonderful.
You have to use notebook LM.
Let's go.
Notebook LM, but I know we're got a bunch of realtors in the room.
Let's go.
It's a hot topic.
How many of you have heard of this tool? You use it? What do you use it for?
Make flashcards and things of that sort to study.
Okay.
You can drop entire links in there.
Sure can.
I can drop a whole book in there, and it'll create anything I need it to create. So.
That's exactly right. What do you guys use it for? Saw a couple other hands maybe.
Oh, I played around with it.
Okay. Anything in particular? Okay. So great callback. This is, in essence, a tool that has the power of Gemini, the LLM of Gemini, the technical AI capabilities, but it allows you to put any sort of sources that you want into it. Okay, so in my world, they're called artifacts. It's like taking anything that you can think of, a PDF file, maybe a good example would be all your contracts or whatever, and you can just dump all this stuff in there and use it as a research tool, use it as a way to learn stuff tool. I'm trying to think of, here's,
The one example that one of the people gave up there was they would do walkthroughs of their properties.
Okay.
And literally just talk and video their walkthroughs.
So good.
And then upload it, and then it would just create like content for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example. I don't have a property to walk through without doing this, but yeah, you can. Here's a good example. I just left a meeting where we are, it's a business advisory group, and they sit down with small business owners, right? And the way they get info from the small business owners is all different shapes and forms. Pieces of paper, P&L statements, balance sheets, slide decks, conversations, handwritten notes. You can take all of that stuff and filter it into a tool like this, and then say, give me an analysis of this business, right? Or if you do it with a bunch of different groups, you can say, help me understand the portfolio of businesses that I'm supporting and helping. And so exactly right. I mean, everything from audio to video to text to websites to YouTube videos, it can go grab a video link, transcribe what the person said in the video, pull all the text out of it, and use that to help model. And so your folks that are doing the walk-arounds are talking, and it's pulling in all the data in pieces, and it's able to now use that to create social media, to create all the various things that come with it, right? And so Notebook, this is a totally free tool. So if you are wanting to play around, for now, Google be Googling, right? They gave us Gmail for free because it was amazing, and it still exists for free, I think. But this tool is from the Project X team inside of Google. So these are like the Navy SEALs of Google that are building this tool. Okay, I can show you a couple other tools they're doing too. I don't know how much time we have, Jared. I'm just talking a whole bunch. I don't want to get people. Okay, sorry, I move a lot. Well, not physically, but like I talk a lot. This is still going. It's going to run. See, I mean, this is doing 119 web searches right now, pulling down the HIS, the GIS, the links, property facts, tax records, everything. Okay, so it's going to go run and do it. Let's see.
Right here.
Go for it.
So I guess maybe from like very bare bones standpoint, like for realtors, what would you say is like the first step to like getting into this? Like,
Yep.
that task or the prompt engineering, like.
The very first step is fixing this legitimately, okay? It comes down to being willing to like talk to a robot. It's very uncomfortable if you've not done it before. Because it feels like we've been conditioned to enter data into a form, and we're like mentally preparing for what do I put in this field, and what do I put in this field, and what do I, right? And then it's like submit, and that's kind of how we're wired. The rules have changed. Now you hit the record button. So the first thing I would do is download ChatGPT's app, and I would hit the little record button that's audio, and I would start talking to it. And here's how I think I can convince you. For the next 2 weeks, don't Google anything. Come to this and ask it the same thing you would have Googled, and have it come back to you. And what will happen is you'll start to kind of recalibrate, like, what have I been doing this whole time? This is a game changer, right? And so the easiest thing to do is to just do it. I know that sounds cliche, but it's very real. Because it really is. More often than not, it's just that hesitancy of like, this is weird. This is uncomfortable. My wife to this day hates this thing, hates it. She's like, I'm not talking to a robot. What are you talking about? I'm like, okay, well, you go do your thing, and I'm going to go save the world over here. So.
Because I feel like I have a lot of kind of random things that I know would benefit me and like make my business better.
Sure.
But yeah, like looking at it from like a manual standpoint, like I don't know how to do any of these things. So
You don't have to.
well, yeah, that's like
Yeah.
what I'm saying is like
Get used to this and then ask it, okay? So the number one thing that people do wrong, in my opinion, is they rush into a tool, they go download Cowork, and they're like, shit, now I don't know what to do with this thing. And it's intimidating because you've never done it before. The very first thing I would do is say, what do I do with you? How do we get the most out of this? And you just say, this is who I am, this is what I'm trying to do, this is what I do. I'm not a software person. Just be humble and talk to it. And it can be type or it can be talk, right? But just because the way these tools are designed is it's interpreting, these LLMs, large language models, are interpreting human conversation and responding in kind. So you have to have a conversation with it. It cannot read your mind yet, probably get there someday. But for now, it's just about hitting the button and seeing what happens. So don't be afraid to ask. That's the number one thing. You're not going to upset it. It's not going to, I mean, the robots might kill us all someday, but it's not going to kill you right now by getting it wrong. And I think that's part of what we struggle with as humble Hoosiers, literally. Like, we're so nice. I've worked all over the country, and we don't want to offend people, right? And so sometimes we don't ask because we're like, oh man, that's kind of an offensive question, right? I don't want to look stupid in front of you, or I don't want to say something that might offend you. This is a robot. You can be dumb as dumb could be, and it's going to be like, let me help you through that, right? Great, do that. That is literally the highest level thing I can tell you to do, is just hustle. Just do it.
I think, yeah, literally telling it to say, hey, I want you to learn about me. I'm going to tell you what I do, and it will, like, how can I best utilize you in my business? And it'll go, here's the 5 things I think you should do, and which one do you want me to start with first? And you just keep talking to it.
But like all of them, like all 4, like you just use all of them, or like?
So where I would do, and this is what I always tell folks, is find what you're comfortable with. They're all inside of standard deviations of competent. It really depends on you. What I wouldn't do if I were you is try to be great at Copilot and Gemini and Claude and ChatGPT and, right? If I were starting today, I would probably start with Claude because of the co-work feature that you can install on your computer, right? If I'm mobile a lot and I want to have a chat, I would probably use ChatGPT. If my company is all Google all the time, I would probably use Gemini, right? They all generally have the same core capabilities. To Jared's point at the very beginning, they're all going to give you different answers, but it's more about the comfortability of using the tool and the process. When you get really proficient, then you probably want to like start picking and choosing which one for which use case. Just something?
Yeah, so with Gemini, I've been working with Gemini quite the past year or so, and basically it's taken it to the point where I don't have to say things anymore. It already knows. So it already knows my business. It knows my business name. It knows what's involved in my business. It brings that all in when I'm asking questions, and it's scary, but in the same cool. It's really fascinating, and it's already taken the steps and already knows what I'm going to ask. And and the new question will just be put right in there. The memory of it just astounds me personally.
Yeah, and that's the thing I think that really matters is once you start using a tool, it starts to learn a little bit about you, right? And it works from there.
And keep in mind, folks, I'm 56 years old, and if I can do it, you guys can do it. I'm telling you right now. Yeah,
So my internet's pretty ghetto here, but I mean we've got the first version of a website, right? And it's pulling stuff in. I don't know if this is factual or not, but you would just talk to it and say this is the new rules or whatever, right? But I mean you can build something instantly, and you can. The way you would edit this web page, unlike going and editing a typical thing, is you would just say, hey, use this photo instead for the main photo. I've just uploaded a folder of other images that you can paste into the gallery. When they fill out the form, make sure to send me a notification at this email address. You literally just talk to it and hit save, and it makes all those changes to the website for you. Think about that for a second. Yeah.
Can you tell it to end the website too? I mean,
like shut it off? Sure. Yeah, for sure. You just have it redirect. So what you do is just come on here and just say, hey, redirect this back to this domain or whatever else you want to do, and it'll just do that for you.
Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, and I don't want to go too far down the marketing side of this, but you can see how this is 245 things in at this point. It's pulling crime data, pulling water tables, pulling all the things. Nuts, right? And yeah.
So is there, another thing I've been stuck on a little bit is, for example, using a different domain, switching emails around, or having like a, I don't know what they call it, but basically a shorter domain.
Yep, URL shortener, yep.
Yeah, so I've gotten stuck that if the process is telling me to go through, it doesn't work. Is there any tool out there right now that becomes Jarvis-like that you just gotta please fix this for me? Like this is what I'm trying to do, but I'm probably going to look into it yourself.
Yeah, co-work can get a lot of the way there. What it will do is, so inside of co-work, if you had, can you give me maybe, is it like Bitly, or is there some other tool that you're using, or how does it?
Like it's Google Workspace and Squarespace.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to shorten the domain. Still going to keep the other one, but it's giving me errors.
Okay.
Even though I'm following the prompts.
Okay.
Okay. Telling me this. I'm going
Yeah.
back and forth.
So when you go back and forth, what does that look like? You tell it it's giving me this error, or what?
I feel like I'm going to do it right now.
Yeah, and that's a real thing, right? And so the quick answer there that will sometimes short circuit you right out of the loop is take a screenshot. Have you been doing that at all? So
I've only been using ChatGPT.
you can still do that. So inside of ChatGPT, if I'm in the middle of this thing, right, and I'm like, hey, I can't get this to work. I know the shortcut in a Mac, they're different, but I'll just say, hey, I'm going to take a picture of this. And inside of ChatGPT, I can literally just paste in that screenshot and say, this is the error I'm getting. Because what it will then be able to do is to understand the code that generated that error, and it can get you faster. The problem you're running into is that so many of these technology platforms change. Facebook's the literal worst and Google's the second worst, where the technology has changed so much, it's referencing old documentation. And so it used to work the way it's trying to get you to do it, but it doesn't work like that anymore. And so you have to show it, and then it'll say, oh, it's version 7.252 that you're using. Here's how you solve that. You wouldn't know how to tell it that, right? And so screenshotting a lot of times gets you there. The other option is you can open up like Claude Cowork and say, hey, I can't get these two things to connect. Will you please go try to diagnose this for me? And this will take over your actual Chrome browser, and it will actually click around and try to do the thing and test it for you. And that is the most Jarvis-y version of it right now. The solution to that is coming. That's where I'm currently playing right now, is I have a Mac Mini computer sitting on my desk at home that has its own cell phone number, its own email address, and its own Slack handle. And I can literally text it instructions, and it just runs. And so I'm building my own AI assistant, like physically, so that I can have it do all of this stuff for me. There's all sorts of concerns and security and all sorts of stuff in there that comes in. So this is like, but I think within a couple of years, we're going to see more and more of that. It's just solving the problem instead of telling you how to solve the problem. I would try screenshotting, and then I would try Claude Cowork and connect it to my Chrome extension, and then have it try to take over. Okay, what else?
Do you have a suggestion for, I downloaded a couple of like AI note-taking.
Yep.
Like right now we're recording this
Yep.
and then it'll.
Yeah, great.
But do you have a recommendation of what to use?
No, they're all fine. Depends on your preference. I mean, they all are starting to bake them in organically. Google Meet has one built into Google Workspace. Zoom has one built in. Teams has one built in. I use Claude. Are you guys familiar with these devices?
So I was looking at those.
It's like $150, and it just clips onto the back of your phone, which is nice. Like it's got a MagSafe case where it literally just clips, and I just hit the button and it just records all the audio.
And then do you,
It transcribes everything.
the device itself is like $150, but then do you pay a monthly?
Yeah, this is where I fall down. Probably. Yeah, I don't. Okay, so yeah, calm down. Probably. I don't know how much it is. I wish I did. My wife would love to know how much I'm spending on this sort of stuff.
And what was it called?
Claude, P-L-A-U-D.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm actually using it right now. Claude, it literally tracks everything.
What is it, Caleb?
Tells you Claude, you literally, everything that he says that comes in here, and I get all the notes. It tells you discussion points.
That's what you was doing there.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. So I mean, and then you can actually train it so, because this isn't in the room and it doesn't know who's on the call. If you're using the Zoom bot or a Google Meet bot, it knows who is talking, right? This doesn't, but you can train it to your staff or your team's voices. And so one of the things Lurie and Bailey and I have not done yet, it only recognizes my voice. It'll just say guest for everyone else. But it can start to learn their voices also. So when we have a meeting, we just put it in the middle of the room, hit the record button, and it takes notes for all of us and summarizes them all and can even assign tasks and to-dos from that
The
meeting.
really cool piece with that is you can like customize different templates. So if you're taking, like I was just telling her, when I take an application call with a borrower, and I don't take physical notes anymore, and then I upload my.
You get to be more present in the calls.
I upload that to Claude, and I have an application template that it just takes all the information and puts it in a standard formalized thing that boom, I upload it to my file, and get notes in there. That's the same format every time.
So this is the first kickback on 16030 boxcar. So this is like an example of,
And buy the one with unlimited memory. Because if you do not,
Would you pay 160?
no, 400. Do not buy
Bro, 200.
just the device. Make sure you get the one with unlimited minutes. 'Cause
That's right.
Otherwise, you will have to
Wait,
continue to
what's
pay
it
for
called?
it. You're gonna use it.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna just
Just
get
get the unlimited I think it's a 2-year plan or a 1-year plan. Just buy the $400 one. It's worth it. Trust me.
What's the one that you have?
it's, the device itself is like 200, but get the one that has unlimited minutes, cause you will use 2,500 minutes very fast.
And
So,
what's the name of it?
Claude.
Oh, the same Claude?
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go. So it's
Claude,
PLAUD, Plod. The device is 200. I pay for the unlimited, so do you, $20 a month. It looks like I probably prepaid for the whole year. So all in, it's, sorry.
Oh, they got this one too.
All in, it's $400 a year for $160 for the device and then $240 for the unit. So you're $400 to have a year of it. And if you use it every day and it records every conversation, guys, these are cost of doing good, cost of business, right? It's like, don't just go blow it all, but I mean like some real value in this stuff, and it's price performers. You start building apps with Replit, you start building websites with Lovable, you start using agent mode inside of ChatGPT, you use this tool. I mean, you might be out $50 a month, something like that, but man, it's the best $50 you'll spend because you'll get hours back every day. What else? We're at time. I think we're a little over time.
Just a funny comment.
Yep.
Just in case they kill us in like 30 years or whatnot, I still say please and thank you.
Same, smart. I do the same. So guys, if you if you have any interest in learning, if you have,
I'll correct myself. I'll be talking to him. My bad. Good morning, Cat. I need you to do this.
That's right.
And it changes the answer. I promise you. Be nice to it. It's nice to you.
If you guys have any interest in following along on what I've been actively working on, it would mean a lot to me if you would go listen to the podcast and or subscribe to the YouTube channel. I have a weekly conversation with people that are building tools on Replit. The one that comes out Tuesday is a IU professor and a local musician. That's right, Hoosiers, right? An IU professor and a local musician that are both building with Lovable and Replit, and they're building apps.
What'd you say the podcast?
It's called Authentic and Agentic.
I just found it on Spotify.
Great, thank you. Yeah, we're starting to trend, which is kind of wild because we just started this thing on our own, but we hit top 50 in all podcasts on tech news, and so like it's really taken off. It's been kind of fun. So follow along if you would. Subscribe on YouTube. We're trying to get our numbers up there. It's brand new. But yeah, it's all free. I don't know. Is that the Apple link? Are you on Spotify?
That's not YouTube. I swear I'm on YouTube. I haven't been on subscribe.
That looks like the Apple app.